The grocery store security guard followed me around every time I shopped there, so I complained to management and learned he was actually protecting me from a stalker I didn't know I had. I'd been shopping at the same grocery store for 3 years without any problems, but about 6 months ago, I started noticing this one security guard, Kevin, would follow me around whenever I came in. Not like hiding behind shelves or anything dramatic, but he'd just happen to be in whatever aisle I was in. When I went to the dairy section, there he was checking something on his clipboard. When I moved to the cereal aisle, he'd walk by pretending to organize the shopping carts. At first, I thought maybe I looked suspicious or something. I'm a 22-year-old college student, so maybe I fit some shoplifter profile in his head. I started being extra obvious about not touching anything I wasn't buying, keeping my hands visible, making sure my receipt was ready. But it kept happening every single time I went in, which was usually twice a week because I lived right across the street. My roommate Emma thought I was being paranoid, but I swear this guy was watching me like a hawk. One time I caught him talking into his radio right after I walked in, and I just lost it. I marched up to the customer service desk and asked to speak with the manager. The manager was this middle-aged woman named Janet, who looked tired but listened while I explained the whole situation. I told her how uncomfortable it made me feel, how Kevin was clearly profiling me, and how I was considering shopping somewhere else because of it. She nodded along, taking notes, and then asked me to wait a minute while she called Kevin over. When Kevin showed up, Janet asked him directly why he'd been following me around the store. I expected him to deny it or make some excuse about doing his job. Instead, he looked really uncomfortable and glanced between me and Janet before asking, "Can we talk about this in the office?" That's when I knew something weird was going on. The three of us went to this tiny office behind customer service, and Janet closed the door. Kevin pulled out his phone and showed us a photo of some guy I'd never seen before. Mid-30s, brown hair, kind of creepy looking. "This man has been asking about you for the past 2 months," Kevin said. "He knows your schedule, what car you drive, even asked one of the cashiers what your name was. He doesn't buy anything when he comes in. He just watches you shop and leaves right after you do." My stomach completely dropped. I stared at the photo trying to remember if I'd ever seen this person before, but I was drawing a blank. Kevin continued explaining how the guy would park across the street and wait for me to show up, then follow me into the store but always stay far enough away that I wouldn't notice him. "I've been trying to stay close to you whenever you're here because this guy makes all of us nervous," Kevin said. "He gives off really bad vibes. Yesterday he asked the cashier if she knew where you lived." Janet pulled up security footage on her computer and showed me clips from the past few weeks. There he was, this random stranger, watching me pick out bananas, following me to the frozen food section, even standing near the exit waiting for me to leave. In one clip, you could see him taking a photo of me with his phone while I was looking at pasta sauce. I felt sick to my stomach. This whole time I thought Kevin was harassing me, but he was actually trying to protect me from someone way worse. I apologized like 50 times, but Kevin said he understood why I was upset and that he should have explained the situation sooner. Janet called the police right there in the office. When the officers showed up, they knew exactly who we were talking about. Apparently this guy, Dale something, had been arrested twice before for stalking other women. He wasn't supposed to be within 500 feet of his last victim, but somehow kept slipping through the cracks. The cops took copies of all the security footage and told me to call immediately if I ever saw him anywhere else. They also gave me this whole speech about varying my routines and being aware of my surroundings, which honestly made me even more freaked out. Kevin walked me to my car that day, and every time I shopped there for the next month. The stalker guy never came back after the police talked to him, but knowing he'd been watching me for 2 whole months without me realizing, it still gives me chills.